This is Tales from the Pros, where business leaders and influencers share their stories of inspiration, struggles, and successes. And I'm your host, Michael Giorgio. Hey everyone, welcome to Tales from the Pros. And this is Michael Giorgio, your host and co-founder at Imagine Innovation. My wonderful guest with me here today is the CEO and co-founder of Guide. Coming from humble beginnings, he is a business leader on the future of work, leadership, and innovation. And he is also an accomplished international keynote speaker and world-renowned global tech leader, recognized by global brands such as Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. And he is also internationally recognized as Mr. Future of Work. I see him on social media all the time. He is awesome. What a leader he is. Welcome, Tim Salau. Tim, thanks for being here, man. I really appreciate it.
Michael, bro, it's an honor, man. Thank you so much for having me, bro. I appreciate always talking with people who are innovating and just building community similar to you, man.
Absolutely, man. You know, it's great having you here because I've connected with so many people on LinkedIn, and your name comes up. I have to remember who they were exactly, but your names come up probably, I think, 3 or 4 times, and even on Clubhouse. I'm sure you've been on Clubhouse. It's getting crazy, but they just talk about how humble you are. Just how you're such a leader, you're the new thing, just all the new things that you're doing and just how you're inspiring people, the community that you're building. So, it's awesome having you here, man. I really appreciate it. Those are the types of people I want to have on the show. People who are doing big things, people who have succeeded over and over again. And that's what it's about, man. It's really about moving forward. You know what I mean? That's all we can do.
Hey, bro, appreciate you, Michael, for filling my cup today, man. And, I think, I try to keep real ones around me. And I've been doing the work that I've been doing similar to you in community building and just being a platform for others for quite some time, man. So, I try to keep a close, tight-knit community. So it's grateful that I'm able to have be in community with you, and that the world is kind of bringing us together, man, because that's how it happens, man. Everyone meets for a reason, bro.
I know, man. Things happen for a reason, man. People are in and out of your life for a reason. I really believe that, man. And I really appreciate it again being here. So I guess we'll get started. I know we don't have too much time, but so if you can, in just even a 1 or 2 minutes, how did you really get to this position you are at Guide right now, and the influence that you have, the community that you've built? What really brought you to this place right now? Were you always an entrepreneur? Did everything just kind of work out?
Yeah, bro, on 100%. I have not always been an entrepreneur. People often I tell people my story every day, and I keep it real. I've worked in corporate America before, man. I've worked at Microsoft. I've worked with all, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've done it, man. The reality is that I think being an entrepreneur, it's a journey, right? Like, you don't wake up one day and say, like, I'm going to pursue this for the rest of my life. Hell
That's right,
no.
Man.
You go through like a process of self-realization, just realizing that, you know what, you want to control your own destiny. You want to be able to take care of your own people. And more importantly, you have the skills to do it. So for me, man, the moment was in 2017 was when I really started with Guide, but it wasn't called Guide in 2017. It was called the Mentors and Mentees Community. Over time, I met my co-founder, Taban Cosmos, who's like my right-hand man at our company. And we decided that we want to build software because we have the skills to. And that really eventually led us to where we're at now in terms of Guide being, not only do we own a software brand, but we also own a tea brand that's blowing up with our community and in the market. And people just don't realize that as an entrepreneur, you're going to experience an evolution of, people that you meet. And fundamentally, whatever you're building, however you're serving your customers, your community, you're going to have to grow with your community as well.
Yeah, man, I feel you. It's crazy how things work out, man. It really is. I do like what you mentioned before, that there's all these talks around, oh, are you born an entrepreneur? I mean, it's so, I know we probably both know people that say they were born an entrepreneur, but even for me, I own a tech company too. My company builds applications. We build custom apps for other companies. So I never thought when I was a kid or when I was a teenager or even in college that I was going to be doing this. It just kind of happened, man. It was a blessing in disguise. It just happened. I never saw myself owning a business, and I'm sure you can kind of resonate with that too. It's just, life is crazy.
Bro, life is crazy, man. And I think people don't realize is that, you dictate your life. Like, you know what I'm saying? What you want to manifest. If you think it and you feel it and you do it, it will happen. like, right? But it's progress, it's compounding interest. And for me, I've realized people give up too early on their dreams, dog.
I know.
Like they're always trying to be like, they're always listening to other people, and they're always living in their limiting beliefs that other people place on them. And I'll give you an example, bro. Dude, in my journey in building Guide, there was one point my parents wanted me to go back to working at Microsoft, bro, and go
Mhm.
back to working with my old employers because they didn't see the vision. They didn't believe
Right.
that I can do it. Bro, my parents didn't believe in me. My ex-girlfriend broke up with me. Like, all kinds of
Wow.
stuff happened, man. But I didn't let that stop me. I just kept building. You know what I'm saying? Like, I persevered. But now, like, a lot of my parents see my success. My ex-girlfriend sees my success. And like, they're kind of doing my parents are they're changing their own mental models of how they think about business and life. And my ex-girlfriend now, she's building a business and stuff like that, right? They see me and they see the example that I'm setting. And I think that's an entrepreneur's mindset, bro. You don't give up when everyone, like, counts you out. You keep going because eventually everyone will remember, right, when they left you, like, right, when they didn't believe you in you, in my opinion.
Bro, you're so right. You really are, man. I know exactly what you're talking about. I mean, I've been through some different things, different situations, but it's so true because this is what I would say. If it was that easy, everyone would be doing it. It's so true, man. It really is. Building anything, it may not even just be a business. Maybe you're building, even like a nonprofit, or you're building, you're a part of a team with entrepreneurs, and you're just kind of being there. You're part of it. You're part of that whole, this whole movement. But essentially, man, it really does take grit. It takes fire. It takes failure. It takes progress. It takes time, patience, perseverance. There's so many different elements combined that really take, it takes so long to get to that point, man. And it's just about moving forward, like we talked about earlier, man. It really is just moving forward and believing in yourself, believing in your dream. And I love what you've done, man. And I've done a lot of research about you. But what I want you to tell everyone, so tell us a little bit more about Guide. Talk to us about the training, the workplace, the development you're doing. Let's get into that. Let's do it.
Yeah, Michael. Yeah, big homie. But bro. The future of work is now. It's not even the future anymore. I've been talking about it for years now, man. I've been living it for years now. And the reality is that organizations continue to struggle with onboarding and training their people. Right. Right now, it's 90 days, bro. It takes 90 days to onboard and train someone. No one has that kind of time anymore, man, to just train people and
We struggle with
ensure
it.
they're effective.
We struggle with it.
Like, for real, no one has that kind of time. So, our core value proposition with Guide, our SaaS platform, is that we'll take that 90 days and actually chunk it down to 90 seconds, because we're going to be using bite-sized videos similar to TikTok to train and develop your employees over time. And it's been effective, man. We have all kinds of amazing customers in our pipeline, some who work at Google, in terms of employees at Google, and even a really amazing agencies. And we're actually getting to a point now in our company where we're about to see incredible growth in terms of onboarding some of those business customers on our wait list, and ensuring that they can be a part of our movement, man.
That's awesome. And what really inspired you to create Guide? Like what was it with the workplace, with onboarding? Was there something that happened with, when you worked at Microsoft or Google? Like what was the moment? What happened? How did you come up with it?
Yeah,
Like,
you know what, Michael, bro? Definitely, when I was at Microsoft and Google, yeah, onboarding and training really sucked. Absolutely, it
wow.
definitely sucked. It was a horrible experience. But you want to know something funny, bro? Guy didn't even start as a bite-sized video training platform for remote teams. It actually started as a life skills training app around 2019. That's initially what we started at. That was the initial
Wow.
positioning for the company. But what we realized, markets change. You gotta be open. You gotta be adaptive. And around March 2020, when COVID-19 happened, the world changed, right? And we realized we can't stay in the ed tech sector. Actually, like, we won't be able to build a profitable business. We won't be able to grow the way we want to. We actually need to pivot this into a B2B to C model and SaaS platform, because there's much more margins in B2B, and we'll build the platform to scale. So that really allowed us, when we pivoted, man, it actually opened up the market for us. And since then, man, all eyes have been on us. We've been getting so much more attention. We were recently a part of Forbes Next 1,000 companies to hopefully be on Wall Street one day,
Wow.
and are doing the thing. Like, we're a venture backed company, man, but we don't have any vultures involved, right? Like, we let our own pre-seed, our own seed round. Like, that's us. Like we've been building from the ground up, really gritty entrepreneurs as an independent company. So a lot of people are starting to see our movement and really what we bring to the table with our software.
That's awesome, man. And Tim, in your experience, how do they position themselves to thrive in the workforce, in the workplace? How do they really position themselves? So I know onboarding is important, of course, but in your experience with understanding skills and training and all that kind of stuff, what would you say about that?
Yeah, man, I think having a human first approach is important, Michael. And I would love to get your thoughts on this, man, because you work
Yeah.
with a lot of leaders and you have a lot of people on the show. But dude, I've worked at companies where they treat people like cogs, man. They treat people like you're just a machine. Like all
Mm.
you are meant to do is come to work, be depleted. Let's squeeze you as tight as possible. You know what I'm saying? For that week, that month, that year. So you achieve these milestones and then just go home, spend time with your family, and you're drained, right? I always told
Yeah.
myself I never want to build a company like that, man, because that is, I think, if you do, even if the money is good, over time you lose your soul, right? Because
Mhm.
you don't even feel a sense of fulfillment. You're just coming to work like you're enslaved mentally, right? And I think when organizations start realizing, well, you have to start thinking about the holistic wellness of your people. It's not just about how productive and effective they are in the work in their work environment, but are they also taking care of their families? Are you allowing them to have hobbies outside of work? Are they building a career portfolio and maybe investing their money properly or having side gigs that complement their lifestyle? You have to think of all of these things in terms of nurturing your people and ensuring that they grow, man.
Yeah, man, I 100% agree. And I feel you, man. Uh, a lot of companies, I think it's just so much right now, man, or it's always been like about performance metrics. They're measuring the wrong KPIs. I wrote a post about this on LinkedIn last year, and uh, it's just, it's sad, man. A lot of companies have changed, though, just like yours. A lot of companies are doing amazing things, but we would a lot of people would be surprised how many of these big conglomerate, these huge companies, these corporations, some of the best in the world, they're just very old fashioned in the way their cultures are and the way they treat people, and they don't have a human first approach. They don't even
Mm,
ask you, how are you doing today, man? How's your family? Like, all that's integrated, all that. Why are you here? You know what I mean? You're
mm.
here. A lot of it, isn't that crazy? It's like, why are you at work? What's the purpose? What's driving you to be here, to work, to perform, to do the best that you can? There's reasons behind it, and a lot of them, they don't give a crap about it. They just want metrics. They want money. They want to drive the top line, and it's sad, man. It's sad.
Mm. Man, yeah, no, I feel that, bro. I can really feel that. You know what? I think a really powerful case study for me is that people often talk about Sears and say, Sears declined. They've gone through bankruptcy multiple times. No, Sears is no longer a great brand. But what people don't realize is Sears didn't decline because they couldn't. They still had products. They still had things they could sell. They declined because they could no longer attract talent,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because of talent attrition, right, and the churn of talent. No one wants to work at Sears. You're not gonna have a fun experience. Like there's no young 25-year-old saying, I want to work at Sears when I grow up and be one of their cat. They lost their foothold as a brand on talent. And because to a degree, like they didn't treat their talent the best. Actually, if you look back into the history of Sears, there was no kind of perks of being a Sears employees. Like it wasn't a statement, in the like long ago. Yeah, they probably were prominent, but they didn't really like have a culture focused on their people. It was just more so focused
Mm-hmm.
on sales and metrics and things of that nature. And now the brand is completely irrelevant. And I think the next generation of organizations, you have to treat your people like they are your brand. They are the rock stars. They're the athletes. You have to treat them like the NBA ball
They're
players,
brand
right?
ambassadors.
They're brand ambassadors. And if you do that, you will be successful, in my opinion.
Yeah. And in your experience, your opinion, what do you think the future of like learning and development is going? Because I know you have a lot of experience and even in leadership coaching and leadership, and obviously in workplace and the workforce. So where do you think things are going with just the way people are learning when they do get hired into a company and the way they develop? What would you
100%.
say?
Yeah. Yeah, Michael, I think it's going to be, I really do believe it's going to be more, it's going to be a few things. It's going to be more experiential. Experiential learning is going to be more important in terms of like make learning feel like an experience, right? We're kind of doing that with our software application, but also from an offline component, organizations are going to have to find a way to make it feel more experiential as well, whether it be having really amazing thought leaders come in and do maybe workshops, but maybe also kind of like in-person case studies in a sense, right? That you feel involved. So experiential, but also with a trend that we're kind of leading, modular, bite-sized, right? People do not have time. Although Zoom is cool, no knock on Zoom. We all love Zoom. People don't have time to be watching training videos for 2 to 3 hours on Zoom, getting Zoom fatigue, and and then going home like drained, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna see
Yeah.
this rise of more modular content, 90 seconds or less, and that's a way for you to like train people in bite-sized chunks over time so they actually retain the information more, and more importantly, they can more quickly apply it to their day-to-day work.
That's awesome, man. And I think that's probably where Guide comes in.
100%, man. That's our niche. That's where we're at. And that's where our customers been saying, we want you to come in and do this for us within our organization. And we've been really grateful for their feedback.
Yeah. And I just want to talk like maybe 1 or 2 minutes on storytelling a little bit. Cause this is why we have this podcast, business storytelling. So how do you think we can leverage storytelling in leadership and learning? Cause I know that's a big piece of it too,
Yeah. I'll have to say, man, as the co-founder of Guide, dude, I'm always having to tell our story, bro. Like if, I have to be our chief storyteller. And that's because I've been there from day one, right? And I have to do that. That is my role. And I think it's really important that I do it too, because I don't want, we actually have this philosophy of like every day is day one. So we're telling our story every single day, right? On our brand channels, on our Instagram, and we're involving our customers in our story because that's why we exist. But if I didn't have this role of being the chief storyteller, who would? Like, how would people even know we exist? How would people know even why we exist, right? And I really think it's important, man, because that your brain is essentially your story, bro. But obviously you have to be aware that your story is going to evolve over time as a brand. So are you continuously telling people why you exist? Like, are you continuously ensuring not that you're even relevant with your story, but that it wasn't that on day one we were just a successful enterprise company or small to medium business, because that definitely wasn't our story. Tabana and myself, we did this from the ground up. We're from the like, dude, I used to live in the hood, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't come from like humble beginnings. I didn't come from billionaire. Like, I didn't come from money. Like, I everything I've really done, I've worked for it, and I've created a brand and platform for me. So like, we often tell people our story because it's very important that the next generation of kids and even people, business leaders, understand that like, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you can do it, but it takes time. You got to build compounding interest, right? You can't give up on yourself and your idea just because everyone else is saying that you can't do it, right? And I always let people know that we're an independent company. Like, right? Like, we don't have shareholders breathing down our neck trying to control us and tell us how to run our own company. We lead our company, and we tell it to people, especially kids, man, because we want them to know that you can do it, right? Like, even if you don't have the money or the network, you can build a great brand. You can build a great movement, and you will find people that support you, man.
You're right. I love it, man. I love it. And, I mean, I definitely would think, I mean, the way you guys bootstrapped the company in the beginning and the way you mentioned, like, you started from nothing. I mean, I would definitely consider you humble, man, for sure. Just the way you grew up and where you are now. I mean, that's awesome. And I think a lot of people can learn from you and be inspired. So,
thanks, homie. Thanks, Mike. Man, for you and your journey as a business owner, man, what have been some like key insights for you that have allowed you to grow a blossoming business, man?
For me, I would say what's worked well for me is be as authentic and real as possible. That has, and I know authenticity, it's all these words, man, they're all over the place. People are using them like crazy. I mean, dude, I know, like, it's like, I'm afraid to say a word because I'm just like, it's so overused. It's unbelievable. It's like, I hate saying freaking authentic anymore because it's like all over LinkedIn. I'm like, but anyways, but you see what I'm saying? But I think for me, I've always treated people with respect, even if I didn't agree with them, or even if I didn't even like them, we're not going to like everyone. And sometimes even some people, you're just like, all right, this guy, for some reason, this person does not like me. I don't know what I did to them. Even this customer.
Crazy people, bro.
Oh yeah, customers, employees. But you know what, man? For what's worked for me is I've always treated people with kindness and respect, and I always will continue to do so. And that's helped me so much in my life.
Bro, I'm feeling that, man. Dude, I'm gonna take that. That's a huge takeaway from you because I've experienced the same, bro. Like people sometimes I'm a happy guy. I think a lot of people see me online. They like, man, Tim is highly extroverted. He's super social, man. He's a great salesman. And what people don't really understand, me behind the scenes, I'm an artist, man. I'm a creator, dude. I journal, I meditate, I take walks, man. Like I'm not I think a lot of people, if they met me offline, they'll realize, bro, like this guy is completely like a introvert, right? If you look at him. But one of the things I've always done, and similar to you, Michael, is I just always respected people, no matter if you agree with me or you don't. Like I value your humanity, and I hope you get to know me for who I am eventually, and I'll respect you for who you are and who you become, and that's all we can do. Like we can't control people; we can just respect them, and I think that's the philosophy everyone that's listening to this podcast they got to take home with them, man.
At the end of the day, man, we're people. Everyone goes through joy, struggle, success, obstacles, blockers, roadblocks, everything. We all go through them in very different situations, very different ways, and that builds us. That builds our own personal stories. You know what I mean? And I believe that. So everyone has a story to tell, and that in our own way makes us inspirational. We just need to get it out there. You know what I mean? And I think that's very important. But that's something I've always believed in, and that's why, I love storytelling. So one last thing I was going to say, I know you need to go. How would you define your story, your life? You can decide your career, your life, whatever you want in one word. How would you define your story in one word?
Humble.
Love it.
Humble, bro. That's it. Humble. And I think a lot of people got to realize humble doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be quiet. It doesn't humility. People think humility is that like you gotta be reserved, but humility is just about like I think to a degree it's more so like respect. It's like you're humble because you're well, like you're good, like you're good no matter what, you'll be fine, right? So it allows you to be humble because you have control. So often when I tell people I'm humble, it's not that I'm like I'm not afraid to share about my accolades. I'm grateful for my accolades, if anything, but I'm humble because I know that whatever happens, good or bad, I'll be able to figure it out.
And you're grateful. There. You seem grateful.
And
gratitude.
In that lineage, there's gratitude in that, right? So I encourage people to be humble. Be humble because when you're humble, people often think that people who are humble aren't good. They're not prominent, right? Like because often people associate success with those who are boastful, extroverted. But humility there's a power and there's an edge in humility that anyone can embody.
You can still be humble and successful at the same time.
Amen to that, brother.
You know what I mean? I mean, that helps you to become successful, man. You know what I mean? You can still make a difference in people's lives. You can make money, provide for your family, provide for yourself, and be able to give back in many different ways, but still be humble at the same time. I mean, why not? Amen. Why do we have to keep limiting ourselves? You know what I mean? We have these limiting beliefs.
Amen, brother.
You know what I mean? But Amen. This has been awesome, man. I really appreciate it, Tim. You're so energetic, man. Everyone's been right about you, and I've always wanted to, I've just read a lot about you. I've always wanted to meet you, and this is very humbling for me. I'm very grateful, and I'm appreciative, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael, bro. I hope I can come on in the future. I would love to have you on our podcast, man. And thank you so much for giving me this moment to talk with you as well as reach your community, my friend.
My pleasure, brother. And where can everyone find you? Is it guideapp.com or is it guide?
Yeah, definitely join. So hit up guidegroup.com. That's going to be our new website that we're going to be launching soon. Guidegroup.com, or you can also go to guideapp.co. But guidegroup.com, it should be it. And more importantly, you can follow me on LinkedIn as well as at mrfo.com. mrfo.com. And that's for mrfutureofwork.com.
Awesome, man. Well, I really appreciate it again. Thank you so much. And hopefully, man, we can meet in person one day, maybe at a conference or an event, once they start getting more.
Let's make it happen, man. I would be down, Michael. Hell yeah.
Let's make it happen, man. Awesome. Well, thank you so much again, man. And thanks everyone for listening. And this is your host, Michael Giorgio, on Tales from the Pros. And until next time, thanks guys. Please subscribe to our YouTube page and also follow our social media. There are links somewhere around here, but we really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for all the support, and I'm going to be giving you awesome content continuously, and we look forward to seeing you soon.